Whether you're an entrepreneur or just an independent contractor, guess what we all are? We're all salespeople. So when somebody says, I'm not a salesperson, I'm an entrepreneur, they don't really understand the meaning of an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur is a salesperson. So I want you to today look at this from the process of asking yourself, which part of the sales process do I make a mistake in? Where is your leak in the sales process of whatever your business may be? Where's the leak that you have? Because for me, over the years, every single time my sales would drop or I would see someone outdoing me, I would always ask myself, where in the process do I have a problem with? Where in the process is a challenge I have that I have to figure out a way to improve? Because in reality, improving in sales is really about discipline and it's about details. If you are not disciplined, which means work ethic, diligence, follow through, all that stuff, or you're not paying attention to the details that we're about to get into right now, you're simply winging it. And you don't want to wing sales. Sales is, a lot of people may disagree, sales is guaranteed to work. Listen, when people tell me how to make it in sales, I guarantee you lack discipline or you didn't pay attention to details and you don't work that hard. Sales will work for anybody. I firmly believe that. Anybody, it'll work. It's just most people don't want to be disciplined and most people don't pay attention to details. So let's get right into the sales process. So in sales, you'll typically hear, no matter what business you're in, you'll go through the flow of sales. Some say there's 5 steps, some say there's 6 steps, 7 steps, 10 steps, 3 steps. I'm explaining 6 steps here to you right now. Step number 1 is prospecting. Number 2 is approach and contact. 3 is presentation, follow-up. Then it's referral. Then it's maintaining your customer relationship. So let's get right through it, and you need to ask yourself in which of these areas you struggle with. So let's start off with the first one. First one is what? Prospecting. So what is prospecting? So prospecting, a lot of times, people will think prospecting is going out there in the cold market and trying to get somebody to buy a house from you and I'm going to meet them at a mall. Or prospecting is me going out there in the cold market and trying to get somebody to, buy my technology from me for their company. That's prospecting. No. Prospecting is multiple different ways of prospecting. And I'm going to explain every single one of these prospecting to you extremely in depth. So you ask yourself which one you're very good at. So think about it. First of all, there's really 3 different types of people in the world of prospecting that you know. One is people you don't know. 2 is people you know. And 3 is people your people know. Again, people you don't know, cold market, okay? People you know, this is your warm market. 3, people your people know, which for me, it's my favorite market because there's nothing like getting into this market. Now, from the lowest to the highest, the lowest percentage of conversion is people you don't know. Then it's people your people know. Then it's people you know. Sometimes this is harder than this one, by the way, but stay with me here. So Pat, great. Now I know what my market is. Excellent. So how do I now get a market? No problem. You got to look at prospecting as multiple different ways of catching a fish. So you can't just have one way of doing it. You need to have multiple different nets out there. And one of them is generally going to work with you. Pick any product. I don't care what product it is. Pick any product you're selling. You can figure out ways to get into other markets. How can you do that? One is social media. One outlet is social media. There's a lot of people doing that. You can do it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can do sponsored posts, boost them. You can do Instagram posts and boost it. You can do YouTube, Google AdWords. There's so many things you can do on social media. The other one on people you don't know is networking events. You can go to networking events, especially the area of networking events that's predicated to the product that you're mainly marketing. So whatever your networking event you want to go to that people are there. I did a video on it last week. What was the video called that we did last week? It was called How to Charm Like Casanova. In that video, How to Charm Like Casanova, I talk about 18 different ways to master the art of networking. If you haven't watched that video, go watch the video. It's one of the previous episodes. So how do you become a better networker? One is networking event. Another one is going into cold market prospecting. You just meet people randomly and you approach them and you have a script, prospecting. Another one may be friendship farming. You're turning strangers into friends. So I don't know John, but I keep going to this restaurant and eventually John and I become best friends because we have lunch at 12 o'clock and every day we talk sports. 6 weeks from now, we've had 4 beers together and I already know his life story, his family. I just told him, hey, what kind of business are you in? That relationship went from being a cold relationship to now warm, to now we went golfing together. We have a friendship now. Our wives have met each other, whatever. I know his kids. I met his parents. I met his girlfriend. I met her, boyfriend. We're good. We get along. There is a relationship there. So strangers into friends. That's a whole different video by itself. Then there is friendship, the part where I said people that your people know. I love this part with referrals on prospecting is because I'm going to get back to it here in referrals, but on the prospecting side, on who my people know, they make for the best prospects. On when I ask them specifically what kind of clients I'm looking at. So then there's center of influence. What's center of influence? Center of influence for me in prospecting is you taking the top 20 people you respect the most in your community. Make a list of it. Top 20 people you respect the most in your community. Make a list of it. Then you know what I want you to do? I want you to contact these 20 people and ask them to go have a cup of coffee with you. What's the script sounds like? Like this. Hey, I really value the fact that you're a successful entrepreneur, and one day I'm planning on being someone like you. I would love to treat you to coffee one of these days or lunch. When is a good time for us to go out? It's on me. I just want 30 minutes of your time. No problem. Then you go and you're simply building a relationship. Eventually 3, 6, 12 months later, you give whatever you can to them. They're going to give back to you. How can I help you? They'll give you the context or relationship that they have that could help you, right? And so then that needs to be maintained constantly. So there's many different ways to improve on the prospecting side. Now let's continue because I'm going to come back to prospecting. Approach and contact. What's approach and contact? Well, one could be how you send your formal email to somebody to follow up with them once you got the info. So I got the number, I got the phone number, I got the email address, I got first name, last name. Then what do? Step number 2, I befriend them on LinkedIn. Then on LinkedIn, I send them a message. Or if I already have their email, I send them an email and I say, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you earlier today. I was impressed with that. I'd love for us to schedule time to visit and talk about I think there's ways we can create a synergistic relationship here. Great. So that's the approach and contact. What is that script that you have for this? Then there's a phone call script. What script do you have? I mean, I can tell you, I sold Bally's memberships back in 1999. That was what, 17 years ago we're talking about? I know the script till today. Here's what the script sounded like. So somebody calls in and they would call with a telephone inquiry. They put on hold, they would say, TI line 1. You would pick up. Thank you for holding. How may I help you? Yes, I'm calling to get more information about a gym. No problem. You called at a great time. By coming in today, you can get started as low as $5 down, and a monthly membership would only break down to be a few dollars, $6 to $8 a week. By the way, what are some of your fitness goals? Are you trying to lose weight, tone up, or increase energy? I want to increase energy. Are you currently working out at a gym? I'm not. What is your current routine? How far do you live from here, et cetera, et cetera? Let me give you a virtual tour of what our gym looks like. That's exactly the script. And then it would go into schedule and time for you to come in. It was a script. It worked. Now, obviously, most people say, I don't like scripts. Look, my body and your body is made up of skeletons that's generally the same, okay? You may have longer legs, you may have shorter legs, you may have bigger feet, smaller feet, you may have bigger hands, smaller hands, bigger torso, wider shoulders, smaller head, bigger head, skin. It doesn't matter. The skeleton is generally the same. It's the body and the skin outside that may be a little bit different. You need a script, and then from there you can add your personality to it. But there needs to be a script. So do you have a script for your approach and contact once you get this in email, Facebook, LinkedIn, call? Do you have that? If you don't, that is a leak. You need to have that. 3, presentation. So a lot of times, believe it or not, out of all these things, you know what's the one thing most people are very, very good at? Is presentation. Why? It's the easiest one. Anybody can present. It's so easy to present. Oh, I know everything about our presentation, but how come I'm not making a lot of money? Because this doesn't make you money. This doesn't make you money. This is very easy to do. This doesn't mean you don't need to be good at this. This is very important, but it's the easiest one to do. It ain't that hard to learn how to give the presentation. So what are some leaks on presentations that you'll generally see? Oh my gosh. If you catch yourself in a presentation, it's a sit down with a business owner. It's a sit down with a client at the kitchen table. It's a sit down with them coming to your office. It's a sit down with a product you're selling. It's, furniture, and they want to furnish their house, whatever it is. If it's a lot of talk, no one cares. You've lost them, okay? I would watch people's presentation. Carriers would come and they would say, hey, let me tell you about the history of our company. And I specifically said, look, I just want you to know You've been on since 1886. I'm very impressed. What are we going to do here? Here's what we're looking for. No problem. So don't be the person that goes for 17 minutes. You know the history of our company for 30 seconds? Maybe. 7 minutes? Too long. Brief. It's all about a good presenter is very good at asking questions. So tell me, what's important to you? What's important to them? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? How about this part? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? Is this important to you? How do you feel about it? How do they feel about it? How does your wife feel about it? How do your customers feel about it? Is that something that's important to you? Between 0 to 10, what would you say it is? It's questions that you're asking on the presentation. If it's too many statements without questions, you're not a good presenter. A good presenter is somebody that's also asking questions because you're getting to find out about who? Them. Sales is so simple. Sales is so easy. If you simply looked at the customers as you, this is how I like to sell. I look at you as the customer and I ask myself, if I were you, what would I buy and what would serve you if I'm you? And so I say, look, if I were you, I would need this based on this that you told me. And I would need a little bit of this based on that you told me. Even though you have this right now, you're paying this much for it right now, I don't think you have a need for it because you told me this. So here's what I propose we do. I said we start with this, you can drop this, and that's good for starters. And 12 months from now, let's revisit to see what we can do. What do you think about that? Great. Any questions? No. Let's get the paperwork started. Very simple, right? Presentation is questions and knowing your craft, knowing your product, and generally not BSing people when you don't know what you're talking about. Next is follow-up. Okay. Remember how I said 2 things is the reason why people don't make money in sales? What was one of them? Discipline. Guess what this is? 100% discipline. This is nothing more than discipline. It's nothing more than discipline. I talked to you about the other D, which was what? Details. So why is discipline and details important here? Well, details is very important because if you're following up with me as a customer and you don't remember our conversations, details that we had the first time, it tells me you don't pay attention to things. You're just trying to get the money, okay? But if you do have the discipline to follow up and you do remember the specific details of what I told you the first time you and I had a 7-minute conversation, I'm very impressed. You value my time. I'll do business with you because it's details and it's discipline. Make sense? So follow up, the biggest sales, the biggest commission checks, the most profitable opportunities that I've had in my career as an entrepreneur typically happened after I reached out to the customer or the person, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I mean, God knows how many times I reached out to certain people before I made the sale because it was follow-up. But here's what I did know. I had very simple scripts that I would use when I'd leave a phone call. This is what my call would sound like. I would say, hey, John, Patrick, right now is not a good time. I'm just really not interested right now at this phase of my life, Perfect. There's 2 ways I can react to that. I'm rejected, or my other question is what? John, would you mind if I followed up with you 6 months from now, maybe in somewhere around February? Would that be okay with you? You know what, Patrick? That's not a problem. Excellent. Well, listen, John, since I'm not going to talk to you between now and then, happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, and happy holidays. And I'll talk to you in February. Hopefully before Valentine's Day, so I'll be able to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. I like your attitude, Patrick. Okay, take care, John. I'll talk to you in February. Bye-bye. Make a note, add details of what to bring up, daughter, son, family, friends, etc., etc. You add the details, then you call in February. In February, if they don't pick up, here's how I leave a message. John, this is Patrick giving you a call. Again, I haven't spoken to you since August. Happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, happy New Year. And I'm hoping I can wish you a happy Valentine's Day because it's a week away from now. But look, I know you had a thing going on with your daughter in November. Her wedding was coming. I just wanted to call you. I'm sure you thought I forgot about you. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm looking forward to seeing that this is a good time for us to do something. Something special has just come up with what we're offering right now with our products. I'd love to tell you more about it. What's the best time for us to call? Here's my phone number again. But I left a message. Whether he calls me back or not, it's irrelevant. Discipline details he's impressed. Then I'm going to call him again 2 to 4 weeks later until I get a hold of him. Then again, if he tells me not interested, John, would you mind if I called you 6 months from now? Not at all, Patrick. Great. I will call you in August. So between now and then, guess what? I know this sounds, some of you maybe listening to this and, oh my gosh, Pat, are you really like this? Yes, because this works. Sales is so easy, my gosh. This is absolutely, I am amazed when some people are not making $250,000 a year selling. This is the easiest thing you'll ever do. But if details and discipline is really what it's all about. So follow up next, referrals. What's referral? So a lot of times, think about it this way. A lot of times, in sports, you ever seen when, one of these guys shoots the basket like a Nick Young? I don't know if you guys know who Nick Young is. He played for the Lakers. I don't know why the Lakers ever signed him. It's because there was nobody on the league for them to sign. But they signed Nick Young. Okay. So he's got a decent shot. So there's this one time in the game, he shoots the three-pointer and he turns around like that and is walking away that he's so confident. Guess what? The three's going to go in. It doesn't go in. He looked like a fool. It was an ESPN highlight, right? And if you go on YouTube and type in Nick Young, missed three-pointer, turn around, you'll see the video. It's so embarrassing. Some salespeople are like that. They go in and they close the deal. I got the signature, everything, man. This is so cool. And they walk out and they forget. Man, you just made $2,000. Man, it's like $100,000 here. What are you doing? Stay. Relax. Don't celebrate. The game's not over yet. You still got to play defense. Referrals is what keeps you in business. That's your defense. So I got to figure out a way to get referrals. So then the next league is referrals. How many referrals do you average per client? How do you ask for referrals? What is your referral script? Do you have a referral script? When do you ask it? Do you prepare them? Or do you all of a sudden say, surprise, I want referrals? Or do you say in your presentation, John, I hope you understand, the way I make my living, I don't earn a salary. I simply make a living based on referrals. So referrals is my main source of keeping me in business, and I hope that I earn your trust to the point where you're comfortable. Maybe later on we meet or later on in the presentation, if you feel good about what I have to offer to you, you're comfortable giving me referrals, right? If it makes sense. Yeah, of course, sure. You agree. No problem. Boom. Then at that presentation, I say, hey, do you remember when I told you earlier or last time we were together that my business was purely on referrals? And I said if it made sense, and obviously we're doing business together, so, who do you know that ... And he asked for referrals. Piece of cake. But don't be a Nick Young. I'm telling you right now, don't be a Nick Young shooting the three-pointer excited. Come back around and play defense. You're about to lose the game. Defense wins championships. Come back. Denver Broncos won a championship last year, not because Peyton Manning wasn't having his best season. They won because their defense was one of the greatest ever. Referrals. And last one. Now, what's last one? Man, the last one is so important. Man, the last one is so important, but it's boring. Okay, so let me explain to you why it's boring. Okay, so think about it this way. I mean, I'm going to use this analogy because it's effective. A lot of times, we want new things. We want a new girlfriend. It's kind of cool, man. A new girlfriend, a new boyfriend, a new, new, everything is new. I want a new, okay. And then what we don't realize is, the most powerful things that have ever been built. We want a new industry, new product to sell. It's so exciting. The most powerful people in the world, salespeople, business people, leaders, influential, they generally chose one route and they stuck to it. And they maintained that industry, that relationship. So maintaining your customer relationship, this is when you go into, saint status type of figure. If you know how to maintain relationships. What do I mean by maintaining relationship? To me, I love to maintain people that stay with me for a very long time. Strong team is very important to me. So my job is to make sure the company is doing very good. My job is to make sure that the environment is a great environment. My job is to make sure everybody's growing. We're developing. I'm outgrowing everybody because I'm leading them at the front. My job is to make sure there's an edge going on and we're competing, we're growing, everyone's coming up with ideas. Why? Because I want to maintain a relation with home office, with my carriers, with my vendors, with my, following, with you. I mean, we want to have an edge because we want to build a YouTube channel. We believe pound for pound we can go against anybody on YouTube. You see a lot of channels on YouTube that are purely motivation, regurgitating. Same message over and over and over again. People finally say, look, you keep saying the same thing. We don't want to be that channel. We want to have 1 million subs on YouTube because we have plans of what we want to do to influence people around the world to make a decision to realize happiness is linked to being an entrepreneur. Because you create, you're part of a community, and it's just kind of cool to have some kind of an ownership of what you're doing. There's a certain sense of excitement that comes from that. So I want to help more people become entrepreneurs. Whatever you're doing, this is what matters. You matter to me. You're important to me. I listen to you. I got an email, I got a letter here. I get gifts all the time, and if I talked about the amount of gifts that I get, I'd be here for a long time. But I get a lot of people that also say, Patrick, I want to take you out to lunch. I want to take you out to coffee. I don't have time to say that to everybody. It's very, I'm grateful for the messages, don't get me wrong, but I just don't have the time to do any of that stuff right now. I got 3 kids. My traveling is hectic. I'm running a company. We got a lot of things going on. But I was very impressed with this letter I got from an attorney from New York. And I'll read it to you, and I'll give him some love with his first name, and then I'll tell you the approach he took. This to me is impressive. This is a prime example. We get fan mail all the time. All the time. We get people that stop by and visit, and they'll say, Pat, I'm in town. You have to say yes. I just want to meet you for 5 minutes and shake your hands. Great. They'll come up. We'll shake hands as long as nothing is too creepy. Great. We'll meet them. We get some random strange things that happen here, and we got a lot of guards and all that stuff to make sure we protect it. But I was so impressed by this letter. And so he's an attorney out of New York, John. I will give you a love, John, and you know who you are. It's a law firm out of New York, Astoria, New York is where he's out of. So John, if you're watching this, you know exactly what this is. I want to read it to you. I want to read you his letter, and he's got 2 cigars here for me, and this is not a regular cigar. He sent me a nice, I want to say it's Cifuentes, I think it is, right? Is that what it is? Yes, Fuentes. Yeah, it's a Fuente cigar. Okay, good. So it's a decent cigar, nice cigar. Thank you, John. Here's how the letter sounds like. I have been watching your YouTube channel for a few weeks, and yes, I subscribe. Thank you for the sub. I have infrequently watched various speakers over the years, and they were simply there. You, however, were presented, and you made me present. You were able to grab my attention and hold it. It was so much your words or your plethora of books on the wall, but it was your energy, and your voice isn't annoying. Family consensus. Well, I appreciate your family consensus. Apparently somebody said the other day, I can't listen to his voice. He sounds like a porn star, which I've never been called a porn star before for my voice. I don't even know what a porn star sounds like, but apparently I have that voice. Okay, now don't get distracted. Come back. I want to continue with the letter. And then he says, I now mostly watch your videos with my wife and children. As you, I work with my wife, and I believe we equally share the belief that we aren't simply parents, but responsible for assuring our children are leaders and not cattle. Towards the end, in addition to other books, I make sure that my eldest child, 10 years old, reads certain books so that he may have the opportunity to understand at an early age trials and tribulations that he will face in life as he journeys to fulfill his dreams, instilling in him, I hope, the belief that he can accomplish his goals through helping others, providing them, emphasizing that others must perceive the value or there is none. A few books that he's read, I recommended following books, or there are plenty of Dr. Seuss or Bob Burke, good book, The Go-Giver, The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. What books would you recommend? What prompted this correspondence was your video on how to work with family. I watch all night with my family and found that myself thinking about it next day. I share your belief and practice as well with my wife, but near the end where you discuss how you would handle your children at the workplace or potential business venture resonated and impacted upon me, your dedication and discipline. Your content offers value to our family, and as a small token, listen to this, watch this, and as a small token of my appreciation, I offer an open invitation anytime you're in New York City to join me for fresh squeezed juice. He watches it, regular watches, so he knows right now I've lost 17 pounds. Since you don't drink coffee, I don't drink coffee, sounds good. Lunch or dinner would be fine. Perhaps you can challenge me to find a great spot for liver. Interesting. John, if you like liver, man, we got to go to some Mediterranean place. I just got to tell him how to make it. I am enclosing 2 cigars, one for each of us, hoping you will save them until we have our encounter. I would enjoy the opportunity to meet. Signature, wet signature. In closed cigars are short, not because I want to limit our time together, but because I value your time. Listen, man, John, I got to tell you, I mean, you are pretty much an example of how to do this part. And, you know, this is class. I like this. I wanted to give John some love. So, John, if you wanted to disclose that it's you with your last name, you can comment on the bottom. It's all good with me. If you don't, I'm giving you love for what you did. I'm impressed by that. That tells me he probably treats his customers that way, and he maintains customer relationships. See, the world of business, an attorney is a salesperson because you're selling people. A CPA is a salesperson. An accountant is a dentist, a great dentist that makes a lot of money. I know solid dentists in LA who make $200,000-300 grand a month, but they're salespeople. I went the other day and I was test driving a Lamborghini. The guy comes with a Porsche and he bought a brand new Aventador. And I said, hey, what do you do? He says, I'm a dentist. How do you make $200 grand a month as a dentist? Well, he makes 200 grand a month because he's a businessman and a salesperson on getting other people's business. But I guarantee you there's some of this going on. Without this, you ain't gonna go to the top. Very simple. Because they talk to one another. You gotta learn how to treat them very good. So again, ask, as you look at this, people often ask me, well, Pat, based on your opinion, which one do you think is the most important? Which one is the most important? Well, let me tell you which one, without it, nothing exists. If you don't do this, kiss it goodbye. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Michelangelo, what kind of time do I have? Like 3 minutes? Okay. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is some of you who are watching this, you are incredible at this, but you are so frightened of this. Because of that, you'll never make it big unless if you face your fears here and start doing this and this. Because you know where the money's at? The money's here. You know where the guarantee is at? The guarantee's here. This guarantees you. This means nothing. Very little. It means some, but not the most. This is what's most important. Anytime, I just always tell people, if your phone doesn't run out of batteries twice a day, you ain't working hard enough. Your phone's got to run out of batteries twice a day. Not because you're playing. Tell me some of the games that people play on the phones, Michelangelo. What would you say?
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. What else?
Pokemon.
What's the one thing? The war game. The war game that people play.
World of
Clash of
Clans.
Clash of Clans, right? Or some of these things that people play, right? Okay? Your phone should be running out of batteries twice a day because you're making 200 calls a day. Okay? If you're a rookie entrepreneur, you ain't making 200 calls a day, you're not really hungry. You're just kind of winging it. You're hoping this thing works out for you and get lucky. There's a guaranteed formula to this. So with that being said, one, if you got any questions or comments about this, comment on the bottom. Two, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, Michelangelo, throw me my favorite towel to your, my favorite pillow to your left. I need your help. I need you to subscribe. Help us get to 100,000. Share our content with other people you know. We've been growing very fast the last couple months here. Our YouTube channel has, which is quite exciting. But our goal is to get to 1 million. Our short-term goal is to get to 100,000 subs on entrepreneurs to learn more about the content here. Again, subscribe if you haven't. And then what else? If you watch this video on a completely different website, you can always come back to patrickbaydavid.com, boom, and get all the content we offer for entrepreneurship. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.